This is a business card. It measures approximately 2 inches by 3.5, and you're going to probably be giving out a lot of yours at this event and getting a lot of others in return, those of you that are actually carrying business cards. This is also a business card. It's 5.5 by 8.5 inches. It has 96 pages. It does a lot more than serve as a book or a business card. Now, that's both creative and innovative. Those two words, creative and innovative, also describe Craig Duswalt, who is an expert on marketing. I have to always be careful of his name, Duswalt. Specifically, Rockstar Marketing, which is the name of his company. Two other words that also describe Craig are high energy and loud. That might be because he learned most of his unique marketing skills working with the legendary rock bands Guns N' Roses and Air Supply. Rockstar Marketing is not only Craig's company, but a mindset on how to use creativity and innovation to build your brand, sell your products, and grow your company. Yes, you might already have a book, a business card, and a brand, yet in the next 10 minutes, you're going to have a lot more innovative and creative ideas on how you can use them to market yourself and grow your business. Craig's title is Rockstar Business Cards. Please help me welcome the very funny, the very smart Craig Duswalt. Thank you.
Hi, Joe.
Awesome.
I need that. Okay, cool. Good morning! How is everyone doing? Really? No, how are you doing? Oh, very, very. How many people have business cards? Raise your hand if you use business cards. All right, so what I do is at my Rockstar Marketing boot camps every March and September, I try to convince people to never use business cards again, to only use their books, handing out books instead of business cards. In my other life, I used to tour with the band Air Supply. I was the band's personal assistant, and after that, I toured with the band Guns N' Roses. I was blessed to be Axl Rose's personal assistant. I was basically a glorified babysitter. I carried $25,000 in cash with me at all times to get him out of trouble. That was my job. So I've done that, but in all the years that I toured with these bands, I never ever saw a rock star hand out a business card and say, like Axl would go up to a person, hey, we have a concert happening down the street. Here's my business card. Call me if you want a ticket. So if you want to be a rock star in your business, if you want to be the best in your business, stop handing out business cards like everybody else does. I hand out books, and that's what I'm going to share today, why you need to hand out books. Everyone hands these things out, yuck. So I hand out Rockstar business cards, and ever since I changed this one thing, I changed, instead of handing out business cards, I hand out books. I get on stages all across the country, and my business has taken off through the roof. I'm going to give you an example. This is the book that I hand out all the time instead of business cards. I'm going to give you an example of a product that was out in 2008, and they made one little tweak to their business that changed everything for them. The name of the company was called Shreddies, and it was a little cereal that was like little bitty shredded wheats. And what they did was in 2008, they said, we are making no money. We got to make more money. How are we going to make more money? So they made one little tweak to their ad campaign, and they introduced the new Diamond Shreddies. Now, if you look closely, you're going to notice that it's the same freaking thing. It's someone took, the photographer tweaked the square and made it into a diamond, and all of a sudden you had a totally different product. They took it to the next level, and they had combo packs. They had the nerve to sell combo packs of square and diamond Shreddies. And I looked at that and said, they took it to another level. They had contests. Which do you like better, square Shreddies or diamond Shreddies? Point being this, one little tweak, that's all they did, one little tweak changed everything in their business, and that's what I'm hoping to do to you today, to get thinking to use books instead of business cards, throw those away. I made a tweak. I was going to write, when I first started speaking 10 years ago, I was going to write this big, gigantic marketing book, about 300, 400 pages, the Bible of marketing. I was so excited about writing a big, large book. It was looking something like this. It was going to be like, do good marketing, really good. 5,641 extremely long tips that will take you years to read and even longer to implement. And Joe Polish, being the forward thinker that he is, he wrote a testimonial for me for this large book even before I met him. That's how good he is. The testimonial for this really large book was, this is the perfect book for the person who hates using drugs and alcohol to induce sleep. In fact, there are so many chapters in this book that it put me to sleep for 600 nights straight. The added cleverness of this unique writer is because the book is so long, when you finally finish it, you can read it again from the beginning because you won't remember anything about what you learned in chapter 1. Joe Polish. So thank you, Joe, wherever you are. You're a giver. So I teach people to write small books, because if you write big books all the time, you can't hand those out because they're expensive to print. So I teach people to write small books and give them out as business cards. So I'm going to have a handout for you after this. I'm going to be giving you a handout so you don't have to write anything down. Just enjoy this wacky stuff that you're about to hear. So there are 6 books that you can write right now to promote your business and use them as a business card. Number 1 is a book of quotes. Just a quote book. If you're a leadership teacher on leadership, you teach on leadership, you could go to Google right now and just get your 50 favorite leadership quotes and just put them in a book and give the credit to the person that said the quote, put your name on the cover and then the book on the name and your picture on the front cover, and you have a business card. And you could all do that by tonight. Number 2 is your program. I have a book, My Rockstar System for Success. It's basically the acronym Rockstar, or CKSTAR, and it's my book on my Rockstar system of marketing. A bullet points tip book is another one. Quick bullet points that you can write. My son, at 10 years old, wrote a book on blogging. He used to blog on a game called Club Penguin, and we're so proud of him. He was teaching kids how to cheat on Club Penguin. We're very excited about this. And so he did this blog, and he had 50,000 subscribers on his blog, and we were like, what the hell are you doing, child? And we told him, you got to write a book. So he wrote this book. He speaks on stages all across the country, and he makes a lot of money. And this is him speaking at his first seminar. He spoke on my stage. He made $1,200 in 15 minutes, and he looked at my wife and I. We're so proud. And he says, Mom, Dad, I figured it out. I don't need to go to school anymore. And we're like, no, wrong message. And he's like, no, do the math. If I do this every 15 minutes, I make more than $10,000 a day. And he's right. So, but don't, bullet points. Number 4, best interviews. You all do podcasting, well, a lot of you do podcasting. Take those podcasts, get them transcribed, and turn them into a book. It's easy. You have it already, repurposing material. Number 5, top blog posts. If you don't like writing books because it's overwhelming, you do 25 blog posts over time, and then you take your top 25 most popular blog posts for 2016, and you turn them into a book. And lastly, it's a compilation book. This is a book that everyone here is going to get today. It's called Rockstar Success Stories. There's Dean Cain, who is Superman. Derek Hall, who is the president and CEO for the Arizona Diamondbacks here in town. Lots of great stories about entrepreneurs that made it great. So it's a compilation book. You write one chapter and get all your friends to write all the other chapters. You could crank it out like that and use that as a business card. Rockstar Success Stories. What I mainly do in life is I teach outside-the-box marketing techniques. These are, some of you are going to say, you're crazy, you're wacky, there's no way I'm doing any of these things that you're going to suggest, but you might think differently the next time you're marketing your business, because all I do is teach people what to do, what everyone else does not do. So you might not use any of these principles, but it'll make you think differently. First one is called, so these are how to market your books, right? First one is called Pissed Rockstar. So I wrote a book called Welcome to My Jungle, and Axl Rose calls me up and he says, I hear you're writing a book. And I said, yes, I am. And he goes, I don't want you to write a book. And I said, well, it's too late, I already wrote it. And he said, what are you sharing? And I said, I'm not going to share anything secret about, it's just funny things that happened on the road. And he said, that's it, if you release this book, we're enemies. I said, Axl, you're overreacting, just read the book first. He said, nope, we're enemies. In fact, I'm going to tell everyone at my concerts not to buy your book. And I'm like, oh, thank you, God. I'm like, really? So have a rock star pissed off and tell everyone not to write your book. You know what I mean. Next one is called Open House. I love this one, to sell your books. You put a real estate sign on the front lawn of your house like everyone else does. And people just come to your house because they want to see your house. But when they go to your house, they're not really going to buy the house. You're going to be sitting there with your books, and you say, oh, this isn't an open house for this. I'm not selling my house, I'm selling my books. Would you like to buy one? And what happens is 2 things could happen. 1, they're going to be, wow, that's really creative, and they buy a book. Or 2, they're going to be pissed off. What are you doing? And I'm like, you walked in here. I didn't walk in here. What are you talking about? So you can't even get in trouble from this one. The next one is called 47 Stamps. I send my book out to guest bloggers all the time. And instead of putting a a regular stamp out to everybody. I put 47 1-cent stamps on the envelope because just out of curiosity, the guest blogger is like, I got to open this. This guy's insane, or he has a lot of time on his hands. I don't understand this. So put 47 1-cent stamps on the outside of an envelope. Next one, 2,000 names. Next time you write a book, when you write a book tonight, in the back of the book, under the acknowledgments, think back in time of every person you've ever met in kindergarten, first grade, second grade, and put them in the book and say, I'd like to thank the following people. And then you call them and say, hey, remember me from kindergarten? Well, you were such an impact in my life. I put you in my book. And what happens is they've never been in a book before, so they buy 10, 20, because they're giving them to everybody that they know. Oh, look, I'm in a book, this is great. So that's 2,000 names. Next one, public library. Did you know that you can have those same friends that you had in kindergarten, first grade, you call everyone across the country and you tell them, call your public library, your local public library, and tell them to order my book. The public library will actually buy the book and put it in the library and give it to the person. So it's a great way, if you have thousands of friends, to get your book in public libraries and make more sales because the library will buy your book. And lastly, second to last, airplane seats. Every time I go on a flight, I carry 10 to 15 of my books, and as I'm walking down the aisle to my seat, I just put my books in the aisles, in the back seat. Because listen, what else are you going to do on a flight? You've read the Sky Mall 400 times, right? And I swear to you, this is true. I was on a flight, Southwest flight. Mike Tyson walks in, and he sits in the front seat, front center, first seat right on the aisle, and he picks my book out, and he starts reading it. And for the 4-hour flight, he got to page 3, or something like that. I'm joking. But anyway, I wanted to take a picture of him so bad, but I was afraid he'd beat me up, so I didn't. But I wish I had that picture. And last but not least, the most incredible marketing tip you will ever hear. And you know, you tell a joke sometimes, and you say, this is really funny, and you oversell it. I can't even oversell this one. It's so good. It is the best marketing tip you will ever hear. So I'm going to share it with you now. Are you ready? Yes. Okay, here it is. So you take about 10 or 15 of your small books, because they fit really nice in a backpack, and you walk into your local bookstore or an airport gift shop or a hotel lobby gift shop, and you go, and like I take 15 books in my backpack, and I walk into Barnes & Noble, and I'll say, where would my book look good in this store? And I go to the marketing section, and I kneel down, and I take the books out of my book, and I put them on the bookshelf, and that's called reverse shoplifting. You know, there are people that spend $2,000 and $3,000 to go to seminars to learn how to get their books on bookshelves. I'm like, what's so hard about this? You put them there yourself. I don't get it. So this is what I do. I always put mine next to Tony Robbins. And then I do one more thing. I always have an extra book on the way out. There's always that display for New York Times bestsellers. I put mine under number 1, and I take a picture, and I leave. Thank you guys so much.